the market looks like a barcode, here's how I tighten the rules. I'll show you how I wait for a body close break and still secure a base hit. So here we are in the NAS 100 15-minute chart, and we've noticed that we've marked some areas of liquidity. We've got a liquidity point down here, which shows yesterday's low, and liquidity sweep point up here that shows yesterday's high. So we know those are generally pretty important points on the chart. All right, and so what we will do is use our trend line tool to go ahead and mark an area where we think price might break and retest. We can use this point or maybe this one. It's a great idea if you can go into the day before. So it's a nice idea to start down here. We've got a point here and a few in here and here. So we definitely have more than 3 points here. We notice that price is starting to break this trend line during pre-market. And let's see what happens next. All right, we're into this green area now, and we know that this is around the 9:30 open. And we are noticing that even these 15-minute candles are looking like candles of indecision. And that lets us know that we're in a choppy market. So you see each one of these candles has wicks coming off from both ends. All right. If we take a look at the 5-minute time frame, we can also see that it's very choppy. Each of these bars are just kind of folding in on each other. We've got lots of wicks here. And so this is just a wicky time and really not an ideal time for me to be trading. So what I would do is set some alerts to let me know when we are out of this range. So when price stops consolidating, I'll know. So I could put one maybe right down here so that I'll know that that's when price has crossed and removed itself from this choppiness. I could put one on the top and one on the bottom, but since I am break and retest and I really like going to the downside and I've drawn a trend line up and I'm expecting price to go down, then I'll just put a line here, and I would also be sure to place an alert in this area. Okay, and then we would continue. Let's see that price is continuing to look choppy. Continuing, and we can see that price has gone beyond our trend line, but we know that that's okay because we're reminded that this is a zone, and we know that since we have a 5-minute or 15-minute resistance area up here, that there's a good chance that there is an area of supply up here. So we're not surprised that price is going up here. And so we can actually go to the 15-minute time frame to see how this looks. Okay, on the 15-minute, looks like we've reached all the way to the top of this zone here. Let's see what happens next. All right, now we're finally starting to get a push down. But what we're going to do is wait until price leaves this area. We don't want to be anywhere in this area. So we're waiting. We're using our superpowers to wait. And there it goes. There's a big candle. Oh, and here's one. Here's a candle that has closed below the area. We're always waiting for it to close. And at this point, it would be okay to enter this trade. So we'll get our short position tool so that we can see where we would enter. It would be right around there. And we could put our highs above the last candle and see if we could take it down perhaps to, we could take some off here at this. We go here. We probably would take some off here at the end of this wick, because we know price does like to come to these areas. And we could see if we could get down here to this area of demand, or we could shoot for this point here. And the reason that we would shoot for this point here is because it's yesterday's low, and we know that price often likes to take care of yesterday's high and low, but sometimes that is what happens, and it's already taken care of the high. So let's see if we can get to the low. So we would definitely be taking profit at these areas. I'm just giving you an idea of where you could remove some profit, where you could secure some profit, and let's see what happens next. Okay, get a little bit more chop here, but then price just goes right on down, doesn't it? And so we would have secured some profit here. It's going back up. We're glad we secured some profit. And then we see that it goes all the way down and looks like it hits our liquidity sweep point down here. So that's great. And so this would have been a profitable trade, but it's important to remember that it does not pay to enter this trade until we are out of the chop. Okay. So we would have entered this trade around 1140 range, 9:30 to 11:30 or 12 range. So that's our lesson about choppy markets. So you always want to be sure to put an alert on this bar so you will know when price has closed beyond it. You don't even need to look at the chart until you hear that alert and we know that price is closed beyond it. If you didn't want to draw these lines yourself, you could also rely on a tool or an indicator, which is called the orb, the opening range breakout. And this is the person who has created it, but I have that tool up here and I use it sometimes. You could click on it so you could show where it is on the 5-minute time frame or 15-minute time frame, and you can see that there's a green line here that tells you it's okay to take a trade to the upside once it crosses the green line, and here's a red line here which shows you it's okay to take a trade to the downside once price has crossed and then retest this red line. And it's pretty close to where we drew our line. So if you wanted to rely or use an indicator, you could do that as well, just to help confirm that it's a good time to take your trade. All right. You could also use the EMA that I've mentioned before, the 20 and the 50. We know that once price has crossed the 20 and the 50, that a lot of times that's another confluence that you can use to let you know that it might be a good idea to take your trade. And so we can see it's crossed our line and we're under the 20 and the 50. So that's a good indication that price is continuing to the downside. And so those are two indicators that I use from time to time that I find helpful. That's the orb tool, and then also the EMAs, the 20 and the 50. And then a third one that I use every day that several of you have asked about is called Sessions on Chart. So we had some of our subscribers asked if I would show my inputs for Sessions on Chart. All right, and the Sessions on Chart are these colors. And as I said before, I'm a visual learner, so I like to just take a glance at the chart so that I can get an idea of what time it is when certain moves happen. All right, and so I'll go ahead and get rid of the EMAs right now. And for instance, if I go out to a 15-minute time frame, I can easily see on my chart what time it is when these moves happened. Like, for instance, when this huge drop happened on Friday, it was inside this green area. And I know that this green area is between 9:30 and 11:30. Okay. And so I know that that's when the drop started. I have an area here from 12 to 3 a.m., 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. in light gray. My 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. is in dark gray. And I've got a pre-market session from 8 o'clock to 8:30 in blue. And then my general trading window is between 9:30 and 11:30. And so I've got that time marked here, or 9:30 and 11, kind of generally in there. And so I'll show you a picture of the inputs for this. And if you like the way that my chart looks, you can set yours up the same way. And so I'll leave it here. And if you'd like, you can take a screenshot just to show so that you can see how it looks and mark yours in the same fashion. So you can see you're able to change the times here. And you're going to click all these sessions here. And then for style, you're going to decide on your colors. I have all these marked. like this. And what I'll go through is I'll highlight each of these colors. So got black there. And you can see the thickness, the line style, and plot 2, similar. This background color. And you might want your colors to be different. You can decide. Then these background colors, I've chosen this blue. Got black again for the plots. And then this background color here is yellow. And the plots are black again. And then this third background color is this one. And then I've got this one here. There's a yellow. And then for visibility, I have it being shown for all of these ranges. And then once I click out of that, this is what I see. And so to me, gray is what happens overnight. Blue means get ready and green means go. So you decide what works for you, but I just wanted to share that with you in case you'd like to use that tool as well. Mentoring is available. If you want help learning to trade, I've opened some one-on-one spots. You'll receive a recording, detailed notes, and a trading plan that works for you. We'll see you next time.